David Carl, it is Monday, March 22nd, 6:03 p.m. I don't know why I wanted to so specifically timestamp that one, but I did.
And 47 seconds.
And here we are. We are here for episode 5 of United Sessions, and it's about time. It's about time we brought in the big guns for New Mexico. We finally agreed. We finally pried him away from his previous engagements as a ninja, a karate superstar, perhaps a pirate of the high seas, which may be foreshadowing for later. Dave, we have an excellent third host tonight, and I would be remiss if I didn't give you the honor of introducing him.
It is the first goal scorer in New Mexico United history. It is the first signing in New Mexico United history. It is the only individual who scored so far this season for New Mexico United. He's a great guy. We all love him. We know him. It's Mr. DEVON Sandoval. Welcome to the pod, man.
David, Lucas, thank you for the introduction. I will say I haven't scored the first goal yet for this season. That preseason doesn't totally count, but I was still happy to score that in front of our fans. It's been a while since we've played at home and had our own fans there. So, very, very happy about that. So.
I'm going to be honest, Dev. It felt like a real goal to me. It's the first time we've had one on our home soil in a long, long time. So it felt pretty great to see it on Saturday.
Well, and it's always been so circular with Dev, right? We had Dev. Not only did he get the first one that he would actually count against Fresno, but he actually did get the first one in preseason the first year, which was against the University of Denver. And I thought that small UNM soccer complex was going to explode. Devin, it's a bit of a different role for you tonight, right? Like normally it's someone like you having to put up with a line of questioning from me and Dave, but tonight you are actually on the questioner side of the table. You are the third individual. So just going into it, how are you feeling? Are there any nerves? Are there any things you're worried about?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little more nervous than I would be if I was on the other end of it. Pretty comfortable answering questions. So we'll see. I'm ready though. I'm ready for this guest. I'm excited about him.
Devin, I think nothing to worry about, Dev. We already got fantastically excited fans. Dave sharing the comments on there. It's a good opportunity, Dave, for me to remind anyone who's watching with us right now, please interact with the show. You make it better. We love your comments. We love your questions. We love Devin clearly loves, being labeled as a pirate. Dave, I cut you off right there. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Well, first of all, I think pirate Devon Sandoval may need to be a TIFO at some point. But Dev, I think you were, if I had to guess, you were either first or second, the guest that appeared the most on the Curse Cast.
Really?
It's got to be. I mean, you came on, I think 3 times. I think at least twice.
You guys had me on pretty early.
Yep.
And you had the Wags on. We had the
Newlywed game.
That was fun.
And you were on one of the later ones too. So I think you were on thrice. And I think Peter was on there 4 times. So I think you're second only to Pete.
Okay. This isn't 4? We're even, right?
No, this is a new thing, Dev. New thing. The clock resets.
Fair
and
enough.
David
No, he was on. So we're tied.
David is heartless. Actually, the person who appeared more on the Curse Cast than anyone who wasn't a regular member of the Curse Cast was me, but he doesn't want to admit that because he's a hater. All right, let's clear the air, okay? I want to devote the podcast all to our guest. He's an amazing human being. I think we're just going to have an amazing time with him. But there's a bit of controversy swelling, Dev, and you can take this one of 2 routes, right? You can be Lucas Cash homie, or you can be everyone else homie.
Or you can just be honest.
And that's going to end up being Lucas Cash homie. But you and I had a conversation on Friday before the preseason game. We said, here are the 2 scenarios, Devin. Either you score a hat trick in this preseason game and you do whatever you want, or you score 1 goal and you send some heart hands over to your boy Lucas Cash over in the PA area. Now, we've seen the videos. We've seen the photos. There's no documentation that after you scored that penalty kick, you in fact looked over at me and gave me heart hands. I'm convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that it happened. I was right there. I saw it happen. But some of my coworkers, they're questioning me. They're like, my man, that definitely didn't happen. You just made it up. Devin,
that's disappointing.
Can you confirm for New Mexico, myself, and everything good and holy, that you gave me heart hands after you scored your penalty kick.
I gave you heart hands from my heart straight to you.
Oh my
There
God.
it is.
Eye contact.
There it is. Haters,
Yeah,
you done heard it here now. Dave, talk about this amazing guest we have at the other side, because I'm slightly embarrassed that I wasted any amount of time making Dev say that.
I was going to say the ego is just out of control, and his head's not going to fit through the room anymore, Devin. You've done this to him. But let's get to our guest. Is Mr. Mike Mares. Very, very excited to welcome him on. You may know him as the lead singer of the Noms, a very incredible band local here in Albuquerque. They were, speaking of the Curse Cast, they wrote and sang and created the song that we used as the theme song for the Curse Cast back in the day, which was a lot of fun, and we were always grateful to him. But Mike is also an enormous New Mexico United fan. And we're going to talk also about his amazing new son, Jude. Well, I say new, but I think he said he's like 7 months old, something like that. So I don't know if we can say new anymore, but his son, Jude is incredible.
Jude is quickly moving into the seasoned vet realm, especially given the experiences and everything that we're going to document tonight. So on the other side of the break, which is coming up in just a couple seconds, we are going to talk with Mike. We are going, there we go, Mom. Way to get in there. Yes, the heart hands is where it's at. Chris Walker, I do feel like I'm looking fly tonight, so thank you for affirming that.
The ego, just the headspace.
You're the one putting the comments up. If you don't want me to pay attention to them, I just don't put them up, right? You know that I have the attention fly of a gnat, or attention span of a gnat. Which is why I couldn't even get through that one cliche without saying it correctly. Before we go to the break, we have to do a little bit of house cleaning. The first point I will make is this: please interact with the show tonight. We love your comments. Obviously, it throws us off our game. Obviously, it makes it more dynamic. Do not be hesitant. Do not be afraid. Do not be nervous. We definitely want you to be a part of the show. Dave, tell the folks about the Borellis Podcasters Guild.
We are proud members of the Borellis Podcasters Guild, local podcasters guild here in Borellis in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They support everything local just like we do. And you can become a member yourself. Check them out at social media, on all social media channels at Borellis Podcasters Guild. We love working with them. They support local. We support local. It's a good thing.
We love doing this live cast, Dave. It is so fun to let people into our lives, to hang out with us. It gives us moments of vulnerability, but it is not the only place to absorb United sessions. So if for some reason you have a friend that you know is a crazy fan of the show, but just couldn't tune in at 6 p.m. on Mondays, let them know that it's available via iTunes, Spotify, and all of your major podcast distributors. And
download.
You listen. We absolutely love when you listen, but you really do us a solid when you rate, subscribe, and review. That's how we get the word out. That's how it gets into your friends' feeds. It's how it picks up momentum. So if you like what we're doing, please just take a couple moments to do those things and just know you have our utmost appreciation. Dave, we had exciting news in the sponsor front this week. Can't really share anything publicly yet, but there's still room to get on the ship.
Yeah. We rumor has it we may have a sponsor for part of the pod here coming up pretty soon. And space for more. Always happy to bring that on board. And if you want to be part of it, and again, part of what we're doing, which is a focus on community through the United scope. I mean, that's really what we focus on more than anything. Yes, we have soccer players like Devon Sandoval on, and we love soccer and we love to cheer them on Saturday. But really, this is a community podcast first. So if you want to be part of that, let us know. Reach out to us. We'd love to partner with you.
Absolutely. And there's a reason we waited to have our first soccer player on or coach on for this one. And that's because we have such a community focus with this one. There are so many cool ties. Like this episode is going to be an amazing introduction and examination to just how being a New Mexican works. Like, it's the biggest little state in the union. You know everyone. Your lives are intrinsically tied together in ways you didn't necessarily understand. And if that's not a good enough tease for you to wait 30 seconds through the Somos Unidos Foundation bit, I don't know what is. But we'll see you on the other side with Mike Mares.
From day one, community has been at the heart of New Mexico United. This state, these people, this culture is in our DNA. United has always been more than a sports team, and victory has always been more than 3 points. With everything we do, we are dedicated to creating positive outcomes for every New Mexican. It's time for us to double down on that mission. Introducing the Somos Unidos Foundation, our commitment to the future in our state, to the future of our community, and to our belief that we are all united. Somos Unidos.
Welcome back to United Sessions, episode 5. We are really excited about this one. As we teased on social media a little bit, this is what we really consider our introduction to the idea of the spirit of Somos Unidos. So, Dave, if I can briefly take a little bit of time here, if our guests will indulge me, the idea of having this podcast was not to talk about soccer all the time. There's lots of places that you can talk about soccer, and quite frankly, there's lots of people better to talk about soccer than me and you. But I think what we are passionate about, what we're uniquely qualified to do, is share the New Mexican experience and share how much this state means to us, and really how this team became a megaphone for that spirit that was already out there, right? All that spirit needed was just a platform to speak from. And so when we came into this, we said it can't just be a soccer thing. We have got to highlight what an amazing state we have in all these different verticals. So we've gotten through 4. Let's say 3 heavy soccer episodes. I think we can go ahead and take the mom episode and put it in its own bucket of us just being ridiculous. But this episode is really focusing in on the spirit of Somos Unidos. And so it's my distinct pleasure and my joy to welcome in a friend, someone who I look up to, someone who, even with the simplest of actions of a tweet, inspires me to live a little bit better of a day. And that's my friend Mike Mares, lead singer of the Noms, proud father, proud New Mexican. What else do we need to add to that biography, my man? Who are you?
Oh my goodness, what's up? That was like quite the introduction, dude. I don't think I've ever been introduced like that before. Thank you so much, man. It's so nice to be here. Oh man, it's cool to see Devon. I mean, obviously, it's so funny because you're like, oh, I haven't seen you in like a year. Like, no, it's been definitely past a year because right. So just trying to get used to that. But David, Lucas, Devon, thanks for having me on. And it's just a cool thing you guys are doing, man. It's cool to, like you said, obviously cover the New Mexico United, which just embodies our state, it really does. And then just to have different people on, from different walks of life. Like you said, I'm in a band called the Noms. We're from Albuquerque. We've done a lot of stuff together, been through a lot of stuff together, and seen a lot of places together. And it's just fun to be a part of. And so anyway, so thanks for having me, man. That was quite the introduction. I'm gonna have to remember to save that on the podcast.
maybe we can get Dave to clip it out for you. But
clip it out, man.
I have to be honest with you. It's far less than you deserve. And so I'm gonna get the conversation started right here, and it's just gonna flow back and forth. Anyone get in when you want to, with the limitations, obviously, of video conferencing. But Mike, I think why you were the person that I put on our guest list, because despite what the end product may reveal, Dave and I really, really do care about this podcast. Moms, you weren't ridiculous. You were ridiculous with how you took our podcast. Get out of here, okay? Let other people comment. And she completely threw me off my point. How horrible. So Dave and I sit and we put some planning into this thing. We want it to be good. When we say we want to be the cure for the Mondays, we're not joking about that. Yeah. We want people to freaking look forward to Mondays because they know we're going to get to hang out, do something fun, do something unique. And so as we were going through this list of guests and everything like that, like Mike, I think you would be shocked how quickly your name came up. And here's why. It came up not because of what you've done with the Noms. That's awesome. Not because of how you supported United. That's also awesome. But you are like an embodiment of the New Mexico spirit that it seems like no matter who you talk to, they know you. Like it's that weird sort of thing that I could talk to X guy in a super buttoned up suit at this meeting, and I could talk to a guy who's enjoying his beer at a brewery with me at this meeting, and both of them know you, and more than 2 people know you. Like, what have you done, like, in your own, like, sort of approach to life to become that guy? Everyone sort of knows Mike Mares.
Well, I can't take all the credit because there's a 99% chance I'm related to them. I'm related to like half the state.
Rumor has it his family's bigger than mine.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we have a big family, man. I mean, so Devon, I knew Devon growing up. I actually was really good friends, still am good friends with his cousin Jessica Otero. We went to K through 8th together. But I knew Devin when he was tiny, man. I think before the show we were talking, and I was like, oh, we go back to the bowl cut days, we go back. So
And we are paying good money for those photos.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that
still
needs to
waiting on that
happen.
photo.
No, but it's I kid about being related to half the state, but I am. Man, it's just kind of growing up, just being a social person. If there was something, my mom always taught me, if you want to get something done, just go do it. So just networking. Hey, it's my sister. Hey, Rich. Just networking with people. As far as like the band, just always just kind of just no shame. Hey, I have a band. Yeah, here's a CD. Here, just take it. Listen to it. Blah, 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 blah. Pius is a big thing. I went to St. Pius. That's a big community out here, obviously in New Mexico. Going to Catholic school my whole life. And then I went to UNM. Worked for Coach Alford. When the basketball team was doing really well and winning championships, and that was a good time. So I've kind of been all over the map in town, and it's just a great place, man. I know I'm biased. I'm born and raised, but it's just something that I don't know. I just would never shy away from talking to people. I just feel like we can learn something from anybody, no matter how different, no matter, what walk of life. You just got to be open to learn from people because we don't know everything. And I know that I don't know much. So I try to just be a sponge, working with people and meeting people. And
You're an infectious human being, and I'm going to let someone else do some questioning here in a second, but I would be remiss if I didn't say to you during March Madness, how dare you bring up the glory days of the league, right? We're all sitting here and we're like, who's going to be our auxiliary team that we root for? And you have to bring up the glory days.
Those were some good times, man. And I'll say this though, I growing up, obviously I was a huge Lobo fan. And then I was a ball boy, right? And then I go to, you grow up, go to high school, blah, blah, blah. I go to college, and Daniel Ferris calls me and goes, hey, man, this new coach is looking for managers and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I start working for Coach Alford, and I love Coach Alford. We have a great relationship. But the last, I think everybody remembers when we lost to Harvard. I actually watched that at his house. I didn't make the trip. And he said, can you house it? I go, yeah, I'll house it. And I watched us lose to Harvard at his house.
I was at that game.
Were you really?
My wife and I were at that game. We had just moved out to Salt Lake at the time.
Oh, that's right.
It was like it came up on my Facebook memories yesterday.
Delete. Oh man, but it's just man. Just March Madness has been crazy. By the way, my bracket is I still have Michigan, but everyone else is X'd. X. It's not even close.
Mike, I'm going to tell you right now, no one is coming to United sessions for bracket advice because I can tell you that I know what Dave's bracket looks like. I know what mine looks like. Dev, I don't know if you did one, but I bet it looks pretty terrible. You just gave up?
It's in a whole nother world, another language. I don't know what's going on.
I made the mistake of picking my alma mater. I went with my heart over my head, and we got knocked out yesterday. So not so good.
Here we go, Mountaineers.
Mountaineer, West Virginia. Yeah.
Huggy.
Yeah.
So I want to know how you got into playing music, because I know it wasn't enunciation.
It was not.
All they taught us was the recorder.
That's right. We did. Dude, see? All right. David and Lucas could bounce. We're just going to talk about Catholic school growing up. Yeah. I remember the recorder, Miss Cam Hoot, was my music teacher. But anyways, how I got into music, man, I'll have to credit one of my friends, Javier Ortega, who's a musician in town. I always wanted to play guitar and never just taught myself or never got into it. Freshman year at St. Pius, go to a coffee house because he's like, hey, I'm going to play, And I grew up listening to Dave Matthews Band a lot. So I just was like, oh, yeah, cool, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know what he was going to play. So it's his turn to play at the coffee house, a bunch of people there, and he starts playing Satellite by Dave Matthews Band. And I'm like, what? Hoff can play that? And then, he's my friend. I just kind of like, man, Hoff can do that. I want to do that. That's really cool. I was 14, 15, picked up a guitar and just kind of taught myself. I took lessons for a little bit, and then I kind of just wanted to teach myself, man. And kind of, it was good therapy for me. It was a good outlet for me. I'm not I was never a good cover guy. Hey, can you come to this place and play 3 hours of covers. I just don't know any. I started writing my own music, my own songs when I was about 14 or 15. So yeah, that's how I got started, man. And then just played with people throughout high school, and then got to UNM and started a band called the Noms with my friends and my best friends, and now my wife. And so yeah, it was just so organically amazing and well put together. That's Lucas. That's how we met Ryan Woolley. We'll have to tell him to download this podcast, but we have a mutual friend at UNM, and he would book us all these things, met him at a show. But the one thing about music for me is that it truly brought everything in my life together. It brought, my wife, my best friends, my family. And so I'd have to credit music for a lot of the, just a lot of joy and a lot of outlet stuff for me to kind of attach to. And so, yeah, and music's fun. It's just fun. It's emotional. You put your heart into it. You're writing songs, that are really serious. You write songs that kind of don't make sense and they're fun. But for me, it's always just been something I enjoy. And I never, ever wanted to take it so serious that I didn't enjoy it. So, because it just gave me so much, I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to it, so that's a long answer to your very simple question.
No, that's great. The thing that stood out was how you said it was an outlet for you, right?
Yeah.
So it took you away from whatever was going on. And, I think especially now, like, kids need that more than ever. Is there any like programs going on? I know, Kevin Herrig.
Of course, man. I love Kevin. Yep.
He's got a program.
I actually worked with him a few summers doing that. And there's a ton of programs in town. I know Kevin has Rock 101, which is really cool. You get to learn, when I helped out, it was every kid, what's your number one instrument? Oh, I play guitar. Cool. Well, guess what? You have to pick a 2 and 3. So you got a kid whose main instrument is guitar, and then their second one is bass or drums or any keyboard. And so that's where I love Kevin, man. He's such a good guy, and he does such a great thing for the community as far as music and getting kids involved early. We always hear about the arts, kind of getting cut, or there's not a lot of support for it with kids growing up. And that breaks my heart, because it's something that I leaned on heavily, and I still do, so there's tons of organizations out there, from people teaching music out of their house or out of a guitar place to something like Kevin that does Rock 101, which is, I can't stress enough, like, when Jude is old enough, my son, I'm sending him there. And so that's what's going to happen, so it's, we have a great music community here, a great arts community. I just like, you guys know, especially with the United, being involved with everything that the city and the state has to offer. Music is something that really is, I feel like it's really important to this city, especially, Albuquerque, but especially the entire state. It's something that we, me and Lucas, well, I guess we'll get to it later, Lucas, but just, we're just a pot. We're just a big melting pot of different things. And that's how we kind of treat our music here too.
Well, speaking of that music scene and that music melting pot, as you put it there, what's up with the Noms, man? I saw a new album drop. How's COVID been treating you? How have things been going?
COVID hit. So let's see. Last February, I believe, we finished recording a new album. We were all pumped up. We're going to do a big old CD release show. We did our last CD release show we did at Sunshine Theater, packed the place, just a big party, so much fun. So we have that, our goals set for that. And then all of a sudden this virus is coming here, there, this, that. Nobody knows what's going on. So, we'll talk about it in a few weeks, and then we'll go from there. And then it's a month, and then it's 3 months, then it's 6, you know how it is. And then, we were going through, we were pregnant. Well, my wife was pregnant with Jude. So we had that going on, and she's in the band. So we were like, let's just kind of see how this whole thing plays out, And now we're here, March 22nd, 2021. And live music is still kind of on pause. So we do have a new album. We are most likely going to put it out April, maybe early May. And it's exciting, man. It's a fun album. It's something a little different. A lot from our early years, we were really like folky, I would say, and that's nice. This is fun. This album's really heavy. A lot of electric guitar. Michelle just brings it, man. Her voice is just insane. A lot of cool stuff. We have one track where, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess this up, but we have a horn section, so there's 3 of them, and I think we had a total of 7 horn players on one track. So it's heavy stuff. It's fun, and for all you 90s, if all you other 90s babies out there, or 90s music people, let's see, Blues Traveler. You guys remember those guys?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. John Popper, who is the harmonica player, he actually is on one of the tracks on the album. So,
Wow.
So we're excited for that. That'll be fun. Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's a great guy, and was like, yeah, send me a track. Let's do it. Blah blah blah. And he actually goes to Santa Fe a lot and does a lot of recording out there. So we're excited to put it out, man. And it's COVID's been weird. It's been really weird. Everyone goes, man, you must be writing like crazy. And I'll be really honest, I haven't written at all. It's just like, I don't know, maybe life just needed to kind of put a pause and a reset on everything. And then, our focus was more on Jude and pregnancy, and then getting ready for all that. So that was, it's just a little bit, it's been a little different, but now, if you try to get, our schedule with the kiddo, it's a little better. So I'm going to start writing more, and maybe even start working on something later this year.
Who do you guys take, or who do you take like musical inspiration from now? I know you said, Dave
right.
Matthews was, like,
yeah. Oh man.
Back when. What about now?
Now, man, honestly, my wife's going to make fun of me because my wife's the one who like shows me new music, but like Jason Isbell is someone I love. If you guys ever heard of Jason Isbell, he's an amazing songwriter. Mumford & Sons, love those guys. Gosh, I just try to listen to everything. I think Spotify has helped me out a lot to like branch my sorry, my dog's barking. Branch my horizons, and Michelle, my wife, really helps a lot too, because I'm like, oh, I really like this, and I'll just listen to this 4 songs for 4 months. And so I just kind of hone in on stuff like that. It's kind of bad, but I just have a lot, man. And my bandmates are huge inspirations to me. They're so just talented. They're great. I live with, one of my favorite singers of all time, my wife. And that's kind of where I'm at. Just getting influenced from everyone. Kevin Herrig, he's just fantastic, man. Just such a good lyricist. Other bands in town, just kind of just get it from everywhere, man. Honestly, nowadays, because growing up, it kind of Dave Matthews. I want to write really melodically and kind of all over the place. And now, growing up writing so melodically, I'm kind of reverting to more simple writing stuff. And so, man, I just take inspiration from everywhere. I grew up listening to hip hop too, so it's.
Well,
Devin, I got a little bit lighter question for you then.
Yeah.
Since you're your new father, 7 months in. Oh yeah. You have to be listening to Disney all the time.
You know what?
Favorite Disney song?
Oh, dude.
Can we all answer this question?
I got this is one for the group, Devin.
Today.
Oh, dude, I try to keep it OG for the kid, and like I want to enjoy it too. So, man, A Whole New World, Aladdin. It's so money, man.
Wow.
So money.
It's a classic.
I'll put that on by myself and just sing and do dishes, dude. That's just my jam.
You try and sing both parts, because there's a couple parts where you can't be Jasmine and Aladdin simultaneously, but that doesn't stop me from trying.
That's exactly right. What about you, Devin?
For me, so I'm gonna do one kind of old school and one kind of new school. For old school, it's The Circle of Life. I love that song from Lion King. And then
absolute banger.
New school, it's Un Poco Loco from Coco. I love that song.
That's incredible. That whole movie is incredible.
Ooh,
Coco and Moana are for me, like, I know they're both relatively new, and some people might get offended by this, but like they're two of my top 5 Disney movies ever. They're so good. Coco might be my favorite Disney movie ever.
Yeah, might be.
So Dave had to not only take his helping of pudding out of this bowl, but he also had to put his finger into this bowl. So he said a Coco song. Moana is the greatest soundtrack probably in the entire Disney library. Obviously, when you put Lin-Manuel Miranda at the forefront, Nisa Lucero, we'll get to Baby Shark in a second. I'll tell you some funny Baby Shark things about Dev, but it doesn't exactly fall underneath our Devon Disney profile that he's asking right here. So yeah, you could take every track from that Moana soundtrack and I'll put it up against anything else. Like, and with my pure ability to argue anything.
All right. But Gerard Burdick in the chat has a great, like, kind of sleeper here. Eye to Eye from the Goofy movie is fantastic.
Not bad. What's the guy's name? It's something to do with electricity.
Powerline.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's good.
And I will say, Lucas often at work will sing. If you put on a song from Moana, it doesn't matter which one it is. It could be that shiny song with the crab. It could be everything. He knows every word.
Right. That's right. That's where all of you dads out there that are listening to, that's the level you need to aspire to. Because quite frankly, in my realm, if my son requests a Moana song from me and I don't belt it perfectly, I failed him as a father.
All right, Dev.
Well, if you would have asked 5-year-old Devin, he would have said Circle of Life. He would have been singing it in the movie theater, standing up with it when the credits are rolling. But now I have to go with Lost in the Woods from Frozen 2.
Ooh.
Wow. Hot take, Dev.
Hot take.
It's incredible.
From Frozen.
It's incredible.
All right.
It's like an 80s love ballad. Like,
picking something from Frozen 2, like when you have Let It Go in Frozen 1, that's like being like, I don't really like Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, but if you've heard some of their other things.
If you haven't heard Lost in the Woods, if you haven't watched the video for Lost in the Woods, you're doing yourself a disservice.
So I actually have not seen Frozen 2. So for the longest time when Frozen came out, I refused to see it because it was everywhere, right? It was just like, this is overwhelming. I don't want to see this. It's just everything I see is Frozen, Frozen, Frozen. And then after, I don't even know how long, I finally saw it. And I was like, oh, wow, this was really good. Frozen was really, really good. And I haven't gotten to Frozen 2 yet, but I will. Also, there's a special message for you in the chat, Dev. For those of you listening on the podcast, Leanna, it's a message from Kristen Sandoval, Devin's wife and wonderful woman. And she says, Leanna wants you to sing Lost in the Woods.
You guys already got what was it? Who was your first guest?
Kyle Martino.
Yeah. He already sang for you guys.
He did. That's true.
I can't match that. I'm sorry.
Well, and we're also going to have an actual professional musician sing for us. But for God's sakes, Dev, like, let's give the people what they want.
It's the warm-up artist.
Most specifically, the people I care about, which is
at my chest right now.
Wait, are you trying to bring up chest right here? We're trying to have a podcast.
I said chest. My heart is beating out of my chest.
Oh, okay.
If you want to talk chest, we can.
No.
I think we lose all of our viewers.
I'll make him Matt. Yeah, Mulan. That one.
Low key, great choice, specifically at the beginning of pandemic. And again, none of you tuned in for us to talk about things that happened that we enjoyed. But I'll tell you what, they did that Disney sing along at the beginning of pandemic, and when Donny Osmond and his like 14 grandchildren did "I'll Make a Man Out of You," that was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Like, they absolutely crushed it.
That is a great song. I really, really enjoy that one.
Gosh, that feels like forever ago. I remember watching that on TV.
I remember crying a lot because I was like, is the world ever going to be okay again? And then I was like, oh, we have a Disney sing-along. We'll make it.
Yeah,
like we're going to
be okay.
Continue to innovate in a way that's amazing. Devin, I want you to like physically reach down and hold onto your socks because I'm about to blow your mind from a broadcaster's perspective right here. I'm going to take this conversation we've had. I'm going to segue it into our next piece of conversation, which is this. We've been talking with Mike about the amazing joys of fatherhood, music, art, as it relates to everything we're doing right here. And to be fair, it's a conversation Mike and I have already had, so it's a little bit of cheating. But Mike, let's transition into how rich New Mexico art, music, food, culture, family. New Mexico is just a little bit different in this realm, and it's because I think at its genetic core, it's collaborative. Like, as salty as we can be with each other, as tough as we are with each other,
we're salty.
we live our life in a very collaborative way.
Yes.
So I may be mad at you, but if we need to get together to make a dish for this family party that we're going to have, we're going to make it happen. Like, you have grown up in this environment. Speak to the spirit of New Mexico.
Dude, you nailed it, man. I mean, it's I kind of thought about this when you were talking about being salty. I need some salt in my food, man. So sometimes it's necessary. And we grew up eating food with some salt, you know. It's funny you guys brought up Barella's. I'm wearing my Barella's Coffee House hat. Yeah, there you go. A little shout out to Barella's.
Love it.
It's my favorite place of all time. It's, you know, honestly, man, it's something where, you know, you and I kind of talked about earlier on before the podcast about just everyone says it, right? New Mexico, it's just a big, you know, melting pot and all these different recipes and all these different ingredients. And that's the same way, you know, you grow up here, you have a good eclectic just mind. You're open to different things. You're tasting all these different foods. I mean, you want to talk about food, I talk about food all day. Now it's breweries, right? All these different breweries. But with me specifically with music, that's something to where it's really influenced us. I say us as a music scene in New Mexico. I can't even tell you how many times we get asked as a band, hey, what do you guys like? What does it sound like? Or what's your genre? And I'm like, well, we got some country, we got some soul, we got some rock, we got some, you know, blues. We're just a mixture of different things. And I feel like that's a reflection on how we grew up, our blood. You know, all of us are from New Mexico. Well, Ken's from Wisconsin, but that's okay. And so it's something that it's just in our blood. You know, we're drawn to things that like mesh together and different spices. I'm just using the food analogy because I'm hungry. And so it's something with music that in New Mexico, and you were talking about Felix y Los Gatos, right? Like, so just fusion. Like, you can't even explain those guys. They're so good. And I love listening to them. And they're great dudes. It's just a fusion of awesomeness. And so when someone asks us, hey, you know, what kind of music do you play? And what's the genre? It's so hard because that's just kind of how we grew up. Just influenced, like Devin asked me earlier, influenced by so many things and so many situations and so many the colors of the sunset here. I mean, it's every night. I'm 33 years old and I'm still outside staring at the sunset. And it's like, this is insane. How does this even happen? So it's dang it.
Is that Tony Romo or Mike Mata?
I gotta be honest. There is kind of an uncanny resemblance.
There you go. My mom, man, I was getting emotional over here, Kaylin, about New Mexico.
Sorry about that.
I'm sorry, Dave. I will hand it off to you directly.
I was wrapping it up.
But that's such an amazing point that you made. And the one clarifying point I will make, and maybe it's minor, maybe it's small, but I think what makes New Mexico amazing is we're not a melting pot. You don't throw something into the heat and it all becomes the same thing. We're green chili stew, baby.
There you go.
And so the beef that you throw in there, the potato that you throw in there, the green chili that you throw in there, they all still maintain what it is they are. None of us change. None of us move, but we start working together in this way that is just unbelievable. And like, that's what I want people to start thinking of. When you meet like a fellow New Mexican and maybe they care about something different than you, or maybe they're passionate about something different than you, but like absorb that because you can supercharge your own passions and your own things that you care about with that. Okay, 1,000%. I'm done for a second. I'm actually going to get up so I don't tempt myself from talking anymore. Dave or Devin, it's on you.
Well, one of the things that you've mentioned a few times here, Mike, and something that I really want to get into is you've talked a lot about, you've mentioned Jude, your son. And I follow you on social media. I see pictures of Jude, I think, on the daily. Talk to us a little bit about your boy there and the guy you call your hero.
Yeah, man. Wow. So Jude the Dude, Jude Prisciliano Matas was born August 20th of 2020. Crazy year, right? It's something that we're all trying to get through, and things were pretty hard. But man, he brought so much energy and love and motivation and all these different things. I'm kind of preaching to the choir out there for parents. When you become a parent, you're just like, whoa, it's not about me anymore. This is amazing. This is great. Devin, you can attest to it. It's just, as a new father, a fairly new father, right? But it's something. He's the man. He's the man. Jude was born with Down syndrome, and he, at first, really, really scared. The whole process of knowing that before he was born was pretty scary and pretty unknown. And I mean, we've never been parents before, so just trying to figure it out. And so we always talk about the road to Jude was a little rocky. It was a little unsure. It was a little scary. Once Jude got here, it's just joyous. It's love. It's just something. I'm having trouble with words, but it's. He had open heart surgery at 3 months. He was born with. Oh, I'm sorry. They call it tetralogy of Fallot. We're a family of faith, so we prayed every day for Jude. And when he was in Mama's belly, and he came out, and it looked like most of those things healed up, and all he was left with was a hole. So he had a hole in his heart that needed to get patched up. We're fortunate enough to go up to Denver, Colorado Children's Hospital, and they are very well world renowned for cardiology with kiddos. And we were up there for 2 weeks. They did the surgery, and he came out, and we were ready to go in about 5 days. And they found some more fluid around his heart, so we had to stay 5 more days or so. And man, he just came out firing away. I mean, it's I post on Twitter all the time about Jude, how he's my hero, how just he just makes everything better. So he a lot of people get scared, or a lot of we were very scared before he was here. And so I just, if anyone is going through that or has that situation going on, reach out to people. You can always reach out to me. We're a part of the Rio Grande Down Syndrome Network. They have great resources. We joined a few months ago. I know my wife kind of get back to normal. We can all meet each other, but it's a great thing to have. And there's a lot of resources here in New Mexico. It's been it's like my life mission now to make sure that Jude and others like Jude there's inclusion for him, and that he gets to experience everything every other kid gets to experience. And he gets to do everything. He wants to play soccer and be like Devin. He's going to be soccer and be like Devin. He wants to play guitar like Dad. He wants to host podcasts and do everything you guys do. He can do it.
No,
and so
absolutely not, Jude.
he's coming for your job. He's got so much personality,
that.
Man.
Look,
there
he is.
Oh, dude.
Look at this guy. Now. Look at this legend.
So yesterday was World Down Syndrome Awareness Day, so we threw a party for him. So it's on 321 to represent the 321 chromosomes, right? So it's oh man, it's hard to describe, but he just has brought me back to earth. And during 2020, it's so much uncertainty, and then with pregnancy, it was so much uncertainty. And he's here, and it's just like, wow, I got to be more like this guy. He's already had open heart surgery. He's crushing all of his goals, his development, and all that kind of stuff. And he's going so hard in the paint, man. He's just like wants to play, wants to crawl, and doing everything that any other kid tries to do. And it's I don't know, man. It's just there's not enough words in the world that could get me to describe how Jude is exactly my hero. But he just every day. It's every day. I pick him up from my mom's or my in-laws, and it's just the best. It's the best. I can't wait to see him. So, but again, I just want to reiterate, the Rio Grande Down Syndrome Network is just awesome. Like they do fundraising. They do a buddy walk every year. You can go there and donate. Those donations help with support groups, new parent outreach. Like we were like helped us. They reached out to us, sent us a care package, different stuff for Jude and his development, some toys, just all kinds of different things. They have learning programs. There's helps with advocacy for all of us parents and for the kids. And so I'm just excited to see. He's only 7 months and he's done so much, man. And I'm like, I'm going to do as much as I can to give this kid the world. And he's giving it because he's already given us that and more, you know? So, yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, you're like, okay, dude, I get it. You have a kid named Jude. But
no, I look forward to the Jude pictures every day. I love it.
Oh man, it's just great. You know, he's smiling all the time and he definitely cries. Don't worry. Jess, what's up?
So,
What's up,
Mike,
Jess?
I tend to absorb emotions in this space, right? And right now, I'm feeling incredibly overwhelmed from the just sheer buffet of emotions I could absorb right now. And so I'm now telling myself which of these delicious dishes am I going to choose from? And I think in just the vein of, we can put out the information later, and you can darn sure guarantee that your Black and Yellow family is going to make sure everyone knows about this amazing organization. Folks, in case you are just tuning in right now and you're only listening for 5 seconds, the Rio Grande Down Syndrome Network, rgdsn.org. Look them up. They're doing amazing work. They're doing selfless work. They're supporting incredible individuals that support my spirit, right? And so that's the big thing. Get out there and support the people that are doing great work. The second point I want to make is this. I got to let you plug anything. I told you this before we got on the podcast. Plug anything you want, Mike Martez, and you chose to plug that. I don't need to say anything else about that. That shows what type of character you are. So again, rgdsn.org. You got donations, got them stimmy checks coming in, put it back into a community that cultivates and supports individuals like this. And then the third thing that I'm going to focus in on here, I'm going to make my thesis, is that I don't know how the world works from parenting. I have 4 kids ranging from 19 to 4 years old. And so you would think at the end of the day, I would know what I was doing, and I don't at all. But I do know this. There are a couple of things you can hang your hat on, a couple of rocks upon which you can build your foundation moving forward. And that is, I love my kids unequivocally. I'll support them regardless of their circumstances. And I'm hopelessly optimistic for the amazing things that they're going to do for the future. And you, my man, I have never had the chance to tell you this directly, so I'll do it live and I'll do it in front of everyone to see. You have been such an amazing boon, ally, pal in that mentality, right? Because I look at what you're doing as a dad, man, and I'm like, that's some next level stuff. Almost said a cuss word, Dave. Glad you didn't have to check it. But like, that's what you're doing, man. You're doing something that, like, when I'm coming home and I'm like, I can't believe my kid drew on the walls, or I can't believe my kid do this. Like, you provide such a perspective and a healthy perspective. Dev, I know that you agree with this 100%. Like, that when you move into that realm, you just look for the positives of those. And Dave, no exclusion here, man. You are a big part of what we're doing from youth development in this state. Like, how many lessons? And I'm going to actually use this as a direct handoff to you, Dave. We're gonna run a running play. What does Mike Martez, his mentality, his approach to being Jude's dad, what does that mean for what we're trying to do as New Mexico United?
I mean, beyond the obvious that you just pointed out, Lucas, which is an incredible example, right? It's what we all aspire to be. I'm not a dad. But the care for community first and foremost is just goes into what we do and what we try to do, what we strive to do on a daily basis. So that's first and foremost. It also, it's also a fun outlet. I love your guys' music, and I know a lot of people who do, and especially in a time like this in 2020, it's a combination of advocacy, a distraction, somebody to look up to, and also adorable baby pictures every single day. It's a great combination. So you're providing the world with a lot of great stuff, not to mention an awesome hero in Jude.
Thank you, man. And it's just, yeah, I'm new to this. I'm going to keep learning more. He's 7 months old and again, he's our first kiddo. So it's, there's no greater joy, man. I know you hear it all the time but you live for your kids, and you live for, when they cry, your heart breaks, right? And so that's a part of life, and that's the way things go. But he's going to do great things. He already has, and so I just want everybody to know if you're going through something like this or whatever it is as a parent, like, reach out. Our little Twitter handles are everywhere. A lot of people. We have great family, great friends who support us and Jude. We're just so blessed, and so I don't want anyone to feel like they don't. Again, so feel free to reach out again, and then also the Rio Grande Down Syndrome Network. And I'm just looking to do a lot of good things. I want to do good things with Jude, and I want him to experience things. And I know, Peter is awesome, and I'm going to reach out to him and get in his ear too about, hey man, let's get something going, with Jude and kids like Jude. And get the New Mexico United, involved and stuff like that. So I'm excited. It's at first it's scary, and you're going to be a parent, and you don't know which way is left or right. But you hold that kid, and you know which way is left or right, and you know what to do and what the right thing to do. And yeah, man, it's just anyone in my situation would do it too. So. My hat's off to all the parents out there, regardless of the situation. It's awesome, man. Being a parent is great. And I know, David, you got your beautiful dog, Olivia, over there. She's a sweetheart. She's changing lives too, man. So it's just, we all have our own road. We all have our own path. And, it's all, and everything's perspective, man. Like, man, life is about perspective. My wife and I talk about it all the time. And so if you could, no matter your situation, find the good in it, you're going to do just fine in life, man. Because there's always going to be stuff that's goes against you, or you question, or all that kind of stuff. But if you can get through it, find a way to smile, find a way to turn it into a positive, that's how I'm a man of our faith. We're Catholic. That's just, we rely on God for our answers, and sometimes we question God about answers that we got. But it's something to where perspective, and Jude gives me that every day.
Mike, you're amazing. Like,
I
I know
amazing,
that all
Lucas.
of us. No, I think all of us were kind of looking like who has to be the person that's going to fall on the grenade, the person that has to talk after that. And I'm such a dummy and so reactionary that I'm happy to fall on top of that for us.
I can talk all day. I don't talk too much.
No, you don't talk too much. You talk exactly the amount. You're talking to people right now, man. Like, and this is what I continually come back to with this podcast. Like, I don't know the reach this thing has. I don't know if it has any legs on it, but I know that if you put it out there, one person who needs to hear it is going to hear it. And like, for you that's hearing it right now, like, connect with this dude, talk with this dude. Like, this is something that you can turn into something amazing. We are going to ask you to do a couple of things, like to shift out of this. Like, we're going to ask you to take the exit ramp off of what we're calling the super highway to just amazing philosophical insight into how to be an amazing human and to be someone that everyone on the face of this earth wants to talk to, and everyone on this earth sees as their support system. Like, again, like I know that you, Mike, your personality at the end of this is, if you end up with 10 new followers who just want to be your friend as opposed to just following you, like, it's time well spent. Right? Absolutely, man. Like, well, now I have 10 strangers who aren't strangers anymore. They're my friends. So what I would like to do, I just want to lay it all for us out here in lifetime. I want Mike to play some music. I know he's got his guitar ready to go. I know we need to pump up some volume on the new album that's coming out, potential live events. Like, it's all fingers crossed. Mike, I don't even care if it's at the pavilion at Sawmill, where you'll have a captivated audience of 52. I want to see you, man. I want to hear Nom's music again. I don't care how I get it.
I want to see him playing at a game.
I want to see him playing at a game. Devon, contact your best.
Absolutely.
But I would like that to happen.
Devon Sandoval, there is no one on the face of the earth that Peter Trevisani will pay more attention to from a text message than you. So if you text message him, let Mike Mares play something before a game, that will then be me and Dave's job to make sure that Mike Mares gets to play at a game. And we're happy to do that for you and across the board. So we have Mike music. We have a ridiculous game that Dave worked really hard on, and he want to make sure everyone enjoys, right? Like, again, you don't know the level of work that Dave puts into these games. We should all enjoy them. and then we'll do our wrap ups and everything like that. Dave, I defer to you on this as the producer. Do we want to do anything before the break, or do we just want to take a quick break right here and kind of pack it into the last section?
I think let's go ahead, Mike, if you're cool with it. Let's do some music, go into the break, and then we'll play a game afterwards.
All right, Mike, get your guitar ready. Let us know what you're playing for us. Is this off the new album?
This is actually off our latest album, so it's not the new one. We're on Spotify. Apple Music. Everywhere you get your music, we're there. And so this is a song called "Feeling All Right" off that album. Sand in my toes and my sunscreen nose, watching the way dance ground on the coast, breathing the air in which my bones will grow. This is the place we go when we're feeling low. Where do we go when we're feeling low? Climb up the hillside and we watch the show. Pass the bottles and the cigarettes. We're up all night 'cause we can't handle this. We're feeling alright. We're feeling alright tonight. Beer and wine are all on the house. Feel so high that we can't touch the clouds. We quit our jobs to pay the rent. We play our songs to be relevant. Say, where do we go when we're feeling low? Climb up the hillside and we watch the show. We pass the bottle and the cigarettes. We're up all night 'cause we can't handle this. Where do we go when we're feeling low? Climb up the hillside and we watch the show. We pass the bottle and the cigarettes. We're up all night 'cause we can't handle this. We're feeling alright. We're feeling alright tonight, tonight, tonight. You're feeling alright tonight. 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 There we go.
Well done. Wow.
Oh, man.
It's been a while. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me, man. Feels good to sit down with the guitar, and I got the Huggies in the back. This is the new music room, Huggies, and you got the posters and the guitars. But
you're not done yet, Mares. We are all feeling all right tonight, and we hope you are feeling all right tonight. Because when we come back after the break, we are playing "Not on My Ship." Noms.
For her. Para ellos. For them. For all of us.
For our families, we stay home. For our communities, we keep our distance. For our state and our fellow New Mexicans, we wear our masks. As New Mexicans, we're no strangers to hardship. Anytime something is put in our way, we prove that we can overcome it. The sacrifices that we make today will create a better tomorrow for all of New Mexico. Somos Unidos.
Mike, just quickly, how much do you love our commercial that we run for Somos Unidos?
Dude, I was like,
right?
They're so
Does it
good.
not just get you? I mean, there's the Cody Mizell stuff. There's everything.
So
Rachel
good.
loves you, Mike, and as well she should. You're amazing.
I want to give
Rachel,
a shout out.
I'm sorry what we're about to
My
do
bad.
to our beloved Mike. This is so dumb. And it's so dumb that, like, normally I accuse one of my co-hosts of creating the game. Most of the time I create the game. And so you just need to know this. So here's what we're going to do. Before we went to the break, I said the acronym "not on my ship," which equates to NOMS, right?
Good.
Right. So how could we then turn that into something ridiculous? And here's what we came up with. We, Mike Mades, will present to you 12 pirate ship names. 12. 1, 2.
Okay.
12. 4 of them are real. 4 are actual pirate ships that are documented throughout history. 4 of them are fake pirate ships that I have come up with. And 4 of them are fake pirate ships that Dave has come up with. So we have a landscape of 12. You get 7 correct, you win it, right? That's the vast majority. You have DEVON Sandoval as your resource. He can do his best to provide insight into, oh, that seems like something ridiculous Lucas would say or Dave would say. I don't know how really helpful Dev is going to be in this, except if he actually knows pirate ship names. So we're going to work through it. But to make any game worthwhile, we know this from March Madness, right? Mike Martes, your bracket is busted right now. The only way you can make a game matter is to put a wager on it. So here's the wager. You win. Dave and I will make each a donation to our beloved Rio Grande. I'm sorry, give it to us one more time.
Rio Grande Down Syndrome Network.
The Rio Grande Down Syndrome Network. We will do that, and we will make sure that our beloved Mike Martes has a little bit of New Mexico United swag as a result of his efforts. That's what happens if we win.
Okay.
If you win. If we win, we're still going to make a donation to the Rio Grande Down Syndrome Network.
Awesome.
But instead of giving you merch, you, sir, will write a custom theme song for United Sessions, right? We're going to up our game. We're going to bring in incredible Mike Martes to write our song for us. Are you down? Do you accept the wait?
And on top of that, give DEVON Sandoval lessons.
I'll write the song. DEVON sings it.
Oh my God, I'm down.
I'll play.
Oh, that's at a whole nother level.
Okay. No, we'll get it. We'll get it happening for sure.
So there are 12
That's the deal.
of these. You've got to get 7 right, more than half. You got to get one more than half right to win.
Dave, are you willing to function as official scorekeeper / reader? It's basically, do you want to do more work than me?
Yeah, that's accurate. I'll do it. All right, you ready to go, Mike, with round 1?
Let's do this.
All right, up first.
Just to be clear, Dave, I just want to be super clear. Here are the ABC answers you can give. Mike, you can say, that is a real pirate ship. That is a pirate ship that Lucas made up, or that is a pirate ship that David made up.
Oh, okay. So there's 3 different. Okay.
So you have 3 ways to
and
get
you can consult Dev at any point, no limitation. He's probably going to be more harmful than good.
For guessing who made up the name?
That's a part of it, Dev. That's a part of it. Like,
Dev's asking for bonus points.
If he guesses who made up the name, does he get bonus points?
So
yes.
It's a real name, and then who did it is.
Let's call it a 0.5 bonus point. That guess it can
you're
be
saying
worth
this
a
because
full point.
you're saying this because I'm the scorekeeper. You're okay with the half points here.
Yeah.
Do you want me to segment into quarter
That
points?
real
I can do that as well.
No, we're good. All right. So here's how it works. If you guess whether it's real or fake, you get a point.
Right.
If it's fake and you guess who made it up, you get an extra half point.
Cool.
All right, you ready?
You can run this out on us, Mike.
All right. Up first, the salted spirit.
The salted spirit or the salted spirit?
Salted. SALTED.
And Dev can help me out, right?
Yep.
Yes.
If I had,
what do you think?
I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say Lucas made that up.
Yeah, that sounds like a drink.
It does. Does sound.
You think that Lucas made that up? That what you
Sounds
said?
like something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I think Lucas made that up.
All right, final answer.
one-
Lucas made that up. You have 1.5 points. That is correct.
Yeah, nice.
me.
Let's
It's
go.
a fake, and he called me out. Dave, I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna end up costing us a theme song.
Let's go. I want that car. That car's on the table, right?
Yeah, that's right. If you run the table, you get a car.
Cool. Thanks.
All
Dave's
right.
car. It's not great.
Yeah. Hey, I love my car. All right. Up next, number 2
Okay.
is fancy.
That's a boat. That's a ship. That's a ship.
Final answer. That's a ship.
Yeah, that's a ship.
You are perfect.
Let's go!
Dang, how
Oh
it's
my
turned around. Dave, we're in trouble. We only have 7 points to work with here, and he's at 2.5 already.
I really want that theme song. Like, I really want that. All right. All right. Here we go. Up next, Neptune's Raider.
Dad, what do you think?
It sounds kind of cool. Sounds legit. Neptune's Raider.
It does sound legit, but then Lucas just started laughing like
No,
hysterically. So now
I'm
think they-
laughing. At you cannot react to me at all. I
Now
react.
I think
in
they
real
made it
time
up.
regardless.
All right. It's time to. I'm going to remove Lucas from the stream.
David made it up.
All right.
David
Your
made
guess
it
is
up.
that I made that up. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Good Lord, he's crushing us,
He's
Carl.
perfect.
Wow.
You got to be kidding me with this.
Out of the stupidest games ever, Martez is owning this.
Pretty
All right, so you already have 4 points. You're already over halfway there. Also, Devin, thank you for saying my ship name was legit. I appreciate that.
Yeah, why didn't you say my ship name was legit,
Me
Dev? And you just made me say a cuss word accidentally.
I just figured it just sounded like something you would do. Sound like something you would make up.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm also pretty good at reading you, Lucas.
They've got me. They've got me beat, Dave.
Yeah, I
Throw
said
him
we
off.
need to. I'm
Read
turning
it
off
in
your
an
camera.
accent. Read it in a
Yeah.
Brucey accent.
I'm not reading it in any accent. All right. Up next. Again, you're 4 for 4 so far, but up next.
3
The
for
Howl-
3.
Well, 4 points out of 4 points is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
The Howling Eel.
Ooh. I would say David made that up based on the last.
Yeah, I think the Howling like I can't see a pirate calling their ship the Howling Eel. It seems kind of like cheesy. I'm just gonna stare at Lucas for a little bit.
Just read him. Just read him.
I'll go with Dev. I think David made that up.
This is
Good
insane. This is insane.
Devin, did you send them the email? We do a pre-production email. And we try and
That's great.
Okay.
5.5. Dave, we have 1.5 points to work with, and we have like 9 to get through. We're not getting a theme
You
song.
guys, I mean, you have a chance. I mean, you can, double down or something.
Yeah, that's all right. We get
We
2
could change the
songs.
rules.
Yeah. Turns out you have to get 15 points.
Yeah, there you go.
Did we say half? We meant
You have to
all
get a
of
perfect
them.
score.
Yeah, that's right. He's still going for the car at this point. Okay.
Like, hey, man.
All right. Up next, again, you are a perfect 5. Was it 5.5?
5.5 for 5.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Up next, opulence.
Lucas. I don't know what opulence means, but it sounds like
Yeah,
a
that
Lucas
seems
would
like too advanced of a word for a pirate ship.
I could-
Lucas made.
I could
I
feel
think-
Lucas staring through the
I think-
computer.
I think Lucas made that up.
Jesus Christ, Dave, I
Yeah,
think we
yeah.
just lost.
We lost. We already lost. How is this
That's like
happening?
way too fancy of a word, man. There's no
Okay,
way.
no, we blank all of that.
How is this happening?
How did we get destroyed? How did we destroy
That was
Madison
it, right?
Hammond at
7-0.
team references?
No, it was one thing. Like we thought it would be tough.
Of course, my wife. Get out of here.
It would be. We thought it would be tough for you to get to 7 overall. You're at 7 immediately.
Through 5 questions, there is 7 through 5 questions, Dave.
I want that car.
All right. Well, you've won the first few prizes. We need to.
Okay.
Hopefully, you don't win the car
Can
because
we
we don't
still
have
have
a car
a
to give
theme
you.
song?
No, of course. I got you guys. Come on.
All right.
We're gonna do it.
We're going for the car though. We're gonna continue
Yeah,
going
yeah.
here. All right.
Whoever owns that car, I apologize.
Up next, Adventure Galley.
Adventure Galley? Spell galley. How do you spell galley?
Galley.
Adventure Galley.
See, I can see them saying like, "Arr, Adventure Galley," but adventure is too cheesy, man. Like, pirates aren't be saying adventure.
Read Lucas. Read his face.
David made that up.
I'm just gonna drink. I'm just gonna chug beer when they're trying to read my face.
All right, so
I think David made that up.
you have lost the car, Mr. Mares.
Oh, come on,
Freaking
man.
finally, Jesus!
That was a real ship.
It was 30
That
to
was a real
nothing in
ship?
an NCAA game, and we finally scored our first basket. Dave, good job.
Wait,
That's
that was a real ship.
That was a real
Yeah.
ship.
That ship sucks. That thing stank.
I'm
That
guessing
thing
it's
stank
probably
right away.
it's probably at the bottom of the ocean right now.
Yeah,
Dude,
let's
Dave,
go
let's
find the
provide
Adventure Galley.
let's provide some alternative learning here. Adventure Galley was actually a really ridiculous ship if you look it up. If I'm not mistaken, that was one that was designed to be a ship to hunt pirates, but then the guy got out there and he was like, you know what? This pirating thing is pretty profitable. Instead of hunting them down, I should just become a pirate. It was like an actual sponsored pirate ship. It's amazing.
All right, I'll have to look this up now. Now I take it back. That ship was probably pretty sweet.
All right. So we've gotten to the point now where we don't need to worry about giving away a card that we didn't have.
Yeah.
So I think we can end the game there. We're going a little long as far as our podcast length goes. So is everybody cool? You've won.
Okay.
We're gonna make a donation to the Rio Grande Down Syndrome Network, which is the most important thing, and we'll send you some swag.
Yep. We'll dig up some swag for you.
Love it, dude. You guys are
I
awesome.
still want that lesson.
Yeah, Dev, I got you, and then we'll get you a song for the podcast. We'll get you guys.
Yes.
I have to give a shout out to this T-shirt I'm wearing though. This I wore yesterday. Love my homie with an extra chromie.
Dave, as we're going through our nonsense here at the end, can you just throw up Jude for me one more time? He brings me so much joy.
You don't
I
have to
just
ask me twice.
at my game.
Dude, look at that guy.
Right.
Incredible.
He's
How
the
do you
man.
not bring joy into your life when
He's
you
the
get
man.
to look at that guy every day? Mike, we like to end our podcast with tradition every week. You're a guest, and so we'll give you the first honor. What's your favorite part of tonight, man? Or if you had a favorite part, did you enjoy hanging out with us?
Dude, loved hanging out. Love seeing Dev, man. Him and I would always talk about fly fishing when you never have time. So
We need to do it.
we'll have
make
to
it
at some
happen.
point, man.
Make
Yeah,
it
we'll make it happen. Man, Lucas, seeing you, just seeing you guys, David. Like, it's just good to see you guys and be seen. And you guys are good. You guys do a great job, man. Just I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You guys literally are just bringing this community even more together. Devin, with your play, being in the community, Lucas and David, everything you guys do. The New Mexico United, like seriously, the entire organization from the top down is just first class. You guys just get it. You get it, and that's why this thing is so successful. Is that you guys get it. You get our state. And so thank you guys for everything you do. I can't wait to pack a stadium sometime soon, hopefully sooner than later. But everything about this podcast was my favorite, man. Thank you guys for having me.
You're far better than we deserve, Mike Martis. Far better. I do have a poker face, Lucinda. Okay.
You don't
all
at
right.
all.
Devin just unpacked. It's because of my love of Devin, the heart hand story. Like, he's obviously got a beat on that. Speaking of that, Mr. Heart Hands, what was your favorite part of the podcast tonight?
Oh man, I just love seeing all you guys. Love seeing Mike. It's been too long. Hearing him play some music for us. That was probably my highlight, though.
It was unreal.
That was awesome.
Beloved co-host.
For those of you who are listening on the podcast, you won't be able to see this, unfortunately, but this is my favorite part of the podcast right here.
Yes, sir. Jude the dude.
Jude the dude. What a hero. Just hearing the story about Jude and just all he's been through in 7 months of life, and how look at this smile. The smile he's got on his face, despite having a hole in his heart when he was born, going through open heart surgery. And he's just an inspiration, the positivity that he can bring into the world, despite what he's been through at such a young age. I mean, you're not going to top that for me.
That's his mom and his dad, dude. And that's my favorite part of this. Like, say what you will about New Mexico, say what you will about any of us, but we've got some of the best moms and dads in the game, the best brothers and sisters in the game, the best cousins, the best friends. Like, you don't understand New Mexico, just interface with us. And all of a sudden you will discover that you have your most loyal person in your life you've ever had. The celebration of that, the celebration of Mike's incredible music, the comments that we had going tonight, goodness gracious, the fans were on point tonight, and we love that. The hottest fan in the block right there, Casey Jane, saying our good venture. Like it was just tremendously fun, guys. Like, every time we've done this, I don't joke when I tell the people my favorite time of the week is Mondays from 6 to 7, because we get to do fun things like this. In this instance, it's more like 6 to 7:17. But goodness gracious, there you could not pick a moment out of this that you were like, oh yeah, that's the part I would rather listen to at the substitution of everything else. Mike Mades, new album coming out, right? Like, pay attention to that. Follow the Noms at the Noms on Twitter. They'll give you all the updates that you need right there. Keep in touch. We don't know what's going to happen with live music, but if something opens up, it's going to happen there. In the meantime, we can rock an incredible album. Devon Sandoval, why don't you keep being an amazing professional soccer player? Why don't you just consider making the heart hands your default celebration? And that way I can appropriate it to my own means in whatever way I want to. Dave, no one could ask for a better co-host. No one could ask for someone better to just facilitate all of this so that they could get on here and rant and hang out with awesome friends. Let's do a little house cleaning, I guess, for the tail end, for the people who are listening to the podcast. I'll take the firsties here, which is the Borellis Podcasters Guild. What an amazing idea. Bunch of amazing content producers, whether that's Chris Barnett, who's done it with 10 Drinks Minimum for so long, whether that's Ryan doing work with Talk ABQ and like facilitating this whole thing. And again, there's so much content here, I couldn't even name them all. That it is an absolute freaking stable of amazing content producers. So please check it out. Please support it. This is how we move the state forward, is by supporting initiatives like that. And the BPG let us get our start.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Lucas mentioned, that was the first part of the house cleaning. The second part is my dog barking in the background. But the second part is actually, if you can, head on over to wherever you get your podcast, Stitcher, Spotify. Oh, look, there's Dev's dog as well. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that kind of stuff. Give us a rating, give us a review, subscribe, download. We love that. It helps us get seen by more people. And again, our focus here, while we love soccer, isn't on soccer. Our focus is on community. We want to continue to get that word out. So thank you guys so much for listening. We're almost to 200 downloads.
Yeah, it's close. It's close. And again, none of that happens by our efforts. We have an amazing marketing team, creative team at New Mexico United. I think most of them just let us do this because they're like, you guys seem really passionate about it, and we love you guys. Yeah, Dev, do you need to shout out that one right there real fast?
Yeah, man, he's going to be playing for this team before you know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll hear about
again,
him soon.
We're here every Monday night. We like to record. We like to be live with you guys while we do this on Monday nights at 6. You can pick it up anytime. Just subscribe in your feeds. But if you want to hang out with us, I think we have a good time, and I think we're doing great. Dave, if it's okay, like, I want to do a little bit of experimentation right now. So, Mike, what we typically do is then Dave will say to me, blah, 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 closing up the podcast, Somos Unidos, and then we'll say, we are united. I think people have had enough of me. So if it's okay with you, why don't you go ahead and take care of the we are united part for me after Dave gets done here.
All right. So again, thank you, Devon. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Lucas. And thank you, everybody who tuned in. Until next time, Somos Unidos.
We are united.